welcome to another episode of Feed the Beast Creations, where I show you all the wonderful things I've made in Feed the Beast. Today I'm going to be showing you this completely automatic cow farm, so let's get into showing you how it works. The first part of this build, and possibly the most important, is where the cows are actually kept. You have to keep them in one by one cells, essentially. It's kind of mean, but you'll have to get over it if you want to breed lots of cows, I guess. There's a feed station at every cell, and the tubes going through will deliver wheat to all the feed stations, and the feed stations will automatically breed the cows. And the cows, when the cows are produced, they'll go down into this water down here and eventually end up in this part here. So I'm going to show you the rest of the build now. Right, the bit back here basically is the bit that produces the wheat. This is the part that essentially makes it automatic. So this machine here is basically just what I used for the biofuel plant over there, and it produces wheat, obviously, and this skeleton spawner here, which is made from soul shards, will produce the bone meal needed to grow the wheat. So I'm going to start up the machine now and show you what it's like when the cows are breeding, although that's slightly weird, I guess. As you can see, all the stuff's now working. The wheat is heading off to the feed stations, the seeds are going back to the deployer, and any excess are ending up in the ender chest. And the skeletons are obviously dropping down onto the skeleton in the skeleton farm. So the wheat is going to all these individual feed stations now, and the cows will begin to breed when there's wheat being supplied to them. There is a slight problem with this cow farm. It is essentially only 50% efficient, but as far as I can tell from all of the planning and building other adaptations of it, there's absolutely no way around this unless you don't want to make it automatic. Yeah, because 50% of the calves, when they are born, basically suffocate in the side of the blocks. If anybody can suggest in the comments how to fix that, that would be very much appreciated. But for this design, only 50% of the calves actually make it to the water, but then they end up going in the water streams and down here. So I'm going to show you a few cows being born, I guess. It's slightly weird though. And here you can see two cows now, and there's another one coming, I think. Yep, there we go. So basically the cows breed essentially after 5 minutes between each cow. So I don't know exactly how many cows it'll be an hour. In fact, I could work it out. I'm going to work it out and tell you. And the number of little baby cows you'll be getting every hour is 36. So, yeah, you'll get quite a lot of lovely beef and leather. Obviously, however, you can use this design for other animals. It'll work. This design here will work perfectly fine with sheep and pigs. Other animals that I'm not sure about, such as chickens, you can probably make a much easier setup for chickens, to be honest. I'm now going to talk a little bit about another option you can use to create cows. This is an extremely crude way of showing you guys, but I couldn't really be bothered making a separate spawner area for this, but essentially you can produce cows now with these soul shards. When I originally made this design, you couldn't do this, but they let you use non-hostile mobs now for all. You can basically make all non-hostile mobs into spawners. So yep, this is obviously the max one, however, and you need to kill 1024 cows before you can get this. But you can get smaller spawners, such as the first tier, which only requires 64 kills, and that'll produce you probably the same amount as this spawner does every hour. But you do need to be next to the spawner. It works just like a normal spawner, but for cows. So yeah, I'm going to give you a little bit of information, and I shall see you there. After me telling you that, you might now be wondering, why would anybody make this? Well, personally I think spawners are just stupid. This is a much more realistic way of producing cow farms, and to be honest. Spawners don't really make much sense. Makes sense. It's a machine. It requires thought and stuff instead of just adding a soul shard to a soul cage and suddenly spawning absolutely billions of cows. So yeah, I just wanted to say that before I finish the video. As always, the world download with all these creations on will be in the description. If you want to use this design in any video or for your personal use, it's perfectly fine. If you include it in a video though, it'll be nice if you could give some credit to me. But yeah, that wraps up this episode then. See you next time, guys.